Hello and welcome to MusicSceneSD TV's latest episode, brought to you by EnterTalk.net and local umbrella media. So in the news this week, I want to announce that it looks like Beatles Fair is coming back. Yep. For all lovers of the Fab Four, Beatles Fair will take place in 2022 at Queen Bee's. While guests have not been announced yet, I want to point out that we've had former Beatle Pete Best, Denny Lane of Wings, Billy J. Kramer, Joey Molland of Badfinger, and others at this event. So if you're a Beatles fan of classic rock, hits music of the 60s, you don't want to miss this event. Classic rock fans won't want to miss a special show at the Courtyard downtown on August 28th. On hand are going to be Strange Days, The Doors Experience, and Clapton Hook, featuring the music of Cream. If you're a fan of classic rock, and those bands in particular, that's going to be a lot of fun. For any music fans on a budget, there's plenty of options out there. Definitely buy a drink, support the band, buy a t-shirt or whatever. But if funds are low and you want to hear some great music, some options to check out for sure. Monday nights at the Casbah, Lady Dottie and the Diamonds, probably the best R&B Roadhouse blues band you're ever going to hear. On Tuesday nights, if you like jazz, swing, and big band, check out Charlie Arbelez and the Met Hall Big Band at Queen Bee's. And of course, blues fans have the Navajo Live Big Jam session on Wednesday. Starts at 6:30, includes performance from either Chicken Bone Slim and Manzanita Blues, depending on which week it is. And of course, after that, it's the free-for-all of new musical talent. You don't want to miss it. All three of these shows are free, but of course, buy a drink, support the bands, do what you can to help out. Check out these shows. Fans of 1960s rock will not want to miss an incredible show that's taking place at the Star Theater in Oceanside on September 11th. Opening the show, it's going to be the original Starfires, featuring Laurie B.B. Lewis, formerly of the Mamas and Papas and the Buckinghams, and Eli Holland, who's best known for his work with former Tangerine Dream members. So this show is going to be incredible, not only because the Starfires are playing and they have a brand new album out, Fly Me Away, but also because the opening acts include Cannibal and the Headhunters, best known for their song Land of a Thousand Dances, and the Standells, best known for Dirty Water. So if you like garage rock from the 60s, this show is a do not miss event. Sticking with the 1960s influenced bands, I want to point out that Gary Puckett of the Union Gap fame joins the Happy Together tour for dates through August 29th in Deadwood, South Dakota. His tour mates on this show are the Turtles, the Association, the Cowsills, the Classics 4, and the Vogues. Okay, Gary Puckett had a string of hits, Over You, Young Girl, etc. He still wears the Union Gap outfits. It's a lot of fun show. You don't want to miss this event, especially with a lineup with that much talent. And finally, in local news, we don't just cover bands, we also cover what the labels are doing in town. And there's one particular very significant label called Surf Dog that's up in North County. They include such artists as Eric Clapton and Brian Setzer in their repertoire. And they have a brand new record out called, let me get this straight, Glenn Campbell Live from the Troubadour, that's out now on vinyl and CD. Now that album represents Campbell's final performance that was taped August 19, 2008 at the Troubadour. If you're a fan of Campbell's music, this is an absolute must-have, and it's just a great release to know that it's coming from San Diego. Glenn Campbell's final recording will be out this month via Surf Dog Records. It's an album you definitely want to listen to. Welcome back to MusicSceneSD TV, where we take an in-depth look at San Diego's music community. Here with me today is Emily Bartell of Bar None Productions. She books shows at all kinds of venues, including Humphrey's Backstage Live and the Navajo. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
So tell me a bit about the kind of bands that you're booking and what kind of events you're staging right now.
Well, I really am passionate about original music. That's my thing. The main thing I look at is singer-songwriters. I do a singer-songwriter showcase that I'm actually going to start up again in July. And I do a Nashville round robin type of format. And I'm just... So that's number one is my singer-songwriters, but I'm booking solo, duo, trio, full bands, whatever. I'm just looking to see what's out there, what I can bring forward. I am passionate about helping musicians. I do what they need to do. I have different places, and even if I don't have places, if there's something else I can do to help them, I want to do it. So okay. I'm all ears all
there
the
you
time.
have it. This is a crucial person if you want to get gigs, and what musician doesn't want to get gigs, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, you're also involved with the San Diego Music Awards, right? What's
Yes.
going on? That's August 24th at Humphreys Concert by the Bay, the big stage outdoors, not the little bar, which is a wonderful place to play too, but it's not the same as the outdoor stage.
And it's the 30th anniversary of the San Diego Music Awards as
right.
well.
Do you know who's playing?
Well, why don't we do the list together?
Yes. Go ahead. You take the first one.
Okay, I will say Chicken Bone Slim.
I'll say Cindy Lee Berryhill.
I'll say Ed Kornhauser.
I'll say Maruja.
Ooh. Oh God, now I'm sorry, but I can't remember.
Okay, so also the Frets and lots of others will
that's
be
right.
playing. So on June 14th, we're going to be announcing the Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Of course, we already know who it is, but June 14th, you can find out who it is. And we can say that it's a musician of great renown within the local music community, but then aren't they always? So what do you have coming up next?
Let's see. Well, I have a whole list of people who are going to start playing in July. Actually, June 24th, I have Brian Jones' Rock and Roll Revival playing at Humphreys. And then throughout July, I have a bunch of people playing there on Thursday nights. At Navajo, I am starting to do new programming. We're on Sundays pretty much doing a lot of Americana folk rock. And the last Sunday of every month, pretty much, I'm starting a troubadour night, and whoever, with Liz Abbott, and whoever's on the cover of the troubadour or the featured article, which this month, I actually wrote the featured article for Dave Preston, and so Dave Preston and the Grown-Ups will be playing at Navajo Live on June 27th. And then I'm happy to say that just this past weekend, I like to call him my artist in residence, but Jeff Berkley and the band are playing at Navajo Live pretty much the second Sunday of every month at Navajo Live. And funny thing is that Jeff Berkley is going to be on the show today.
Yeah, actually, I can't think of a better dovetail into an interview than that. Jeff, why don't you come over and say hello to everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, musician, singer-songwriter, guitarist, all-around nice guy, extraordinaire, Jeff Berkley. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. This is an amazing seat. I brought my guitar up. I guess I don't need that.
Well, you know,
right at the moment. We'll just put it right here. How's
it's
that?
always good to have a friend with you.
Isn't it pretty? It is. It's my
What's your name?
security blanket. I haven't named it.
It? Ooh, okay.
Her? Is it a her? I'm not sure. I haven't really. I haven't
you.
looked.
Well,
I haven't looked
now,
for
Jeff,
that.
you've been a major part of San Diego's music community now for decades. Now,
Since I was like 3 years old.
yes, something about that. But one of the interesting things to me is how, as successful as a career is at the moment, how something from your past can all of a sudden just bounce up out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it becomes a big deal. And you know specifically what I'm talking about.
I have a feeling.
Yeah, this gentleman had a band back in the early 90s called The Cry.
Yeah.
They were indie alternative band, very British influenced, post-punk guitar kind of stuff. They put out a cassette. The album itself is great, but they put out a cassette. It did okay locally. It did what...
We couldn't afford to do vinyl back
Yeah.
then. It was like we barely like squeaked out a cassette, but it came out.
Yeah, and people here in town liked it, and it was fun, and it did what local bands do, which is you sell them, you play a few shows, you break up, you go on to with your life, and things are what they are. And then fast forward, 30, 40 years?
Yeah, like 30-something years
30-something
later.
years, and all of a sudden, The Cry from the early 90s, from North County, is one of the hottest indie bands out there with reissues and everything going.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. How did that happen?
Well, it was odd, but back then, some of the early skateboard scene was kind of happening. Tony Hawk and all those folks, that era of skateboarders, they were all with this company called H Street Skate Video Skate Company, and they made skate equipment, and they were kind of an up and coming company, and the owner of that company made deals with all these young skateboarders and made them kind of wealthy and put out these videos to kind of show what they could do. And each skateboarder was able to choose songs for their portion of the video. And so the first one that came out was called Hocus Pocus by H Street Skate. And then the owner of the company was killed in a car wreck, tragically. But what that did for his company was turn it into this sort of cult thing that was passed around on videotapes at the skate parks. This video, Hocus Pocus, was passed around, and it was this sort of cult thing, and our songs were on there. Jump to the 2000s, it was like 2008 or something, a movie came out with all these old clips of these early skate videos and included our songs in this movie, and it toured the world. And unbeknownst to us, but I had decided on a whim to just put stuff up, digitally distribute stuff and put it up on iTunes and Spotify and those platforms, and people were able to find it. And we didn't even know, but millions of streams had happened and money was coming in. And we finally kind of found out and got wind of what was going on and contacted those guys, and they came over and we all hung out and we started recording again and writing again. And Chuck and Jeff and Dave from The Cry had not been doing music. They'd been doing other things and kind of came back, and it was like yesterday, man. It was crazy. We all look a little different, but it was really fun. And back then I had like white bleached hair and I wore makeup and I had an earring and I wore creepers or monkey boots. You remember, I saw you dressed differently a little bit, not much, basically the same.
It's the same boots.
Same boots. Yeah. Are those the same exact ones?
Those are actually, I've had these for, yeah.
Those are famous boots. Those boots have been in some very crazy toxic situations. And
yes,
you wouldn't want to shine a black light on those boots for sure.
Yeah. Well, now, I mean, it's amazing what's happened to your old career, but it's just as amazing what's happened to your current career. Oh. So right now you run the studio up at the Ranch.
I do. We've got
that's Jason Mraz's ranch.
Jason Mraz has a beautiful ranch, and he grows avocados, among other things, and he has a studio building already built there. And he's just, look, every once in a while, people have success come to them who actually deserve it. Mm-hmm. And you see it. It's great to see that when a really good person actually becomes famous, because not just because they're amazingly talented, but also because they're an amazing person who's very giving. And I think Jason saw a need when the building that I had my studio in Kearny Mesa got bought out, ironically, by a marijuana company and turned into a grow room. I feel I probably pulled some of that energy in. I don't know how. I'm just going to say. Anyway, so I had to move real fast, and Jason and I have been hanging out again. We all met at Java Joe's back in the day, and
great hangout.
It was a great hangout, and still hanging out with Java Joe's still really fun. And Jason heard that I needed a space, and he said, "Why don't you come move your studio into my studio building for a while?" And that's what's happened. We've been up there for a while, and we've been making some fun records. I made a couple of records for Jason, these reggae records that are coming out, and there's a new single that just hit, his brand new single that came out, and I got to record that, and I've got to work with all these amazing reggae musicians. I've been training to make a reggae record my whole life.
One token.
Those of you who know me, I have a bit of a reputation for certain things that are legal now that didn't used to be legal. But so the sessions, Jason and I have that in common, and so did all the other musicians, and we did it all live. Everybody else at the same time, and learning to do records like that has been a huge blessing on my own records. My style has changed in that way, where I just want to get all the musicians together and let's just do it, and so this building and the space I'm working in there, and also I work at Studio West and 2 or 3 other places. All the places I work now have that in common, where I can just bring the musicians in and get everybody kind of feeling good in whatever way they like to do that, and then we just go for it. It sure has been fun.
Well, I noticed that you've got several recordings that you've produced in the Music Awards this year.
It's great.
Gregory Page's album,
Gregory's,
One Hell of a Memory.
I helped engineer on that. That was a team effort.
Right,
Robbie
right.
Robinson's amazing.
All records are team efforts.
They are. They really are. No, actually, some of them are all me. It's all me, and I do everything, and the other. No, I'm kidding.
We'll get to those in a second.
Completely a joke.
But Gregory Page, Rebecca Jade, and Jason's Bad Wolves.
That Bad Wolves thing was sure fun to do. They're all fun to do, but the Bad Wolves thing was an amazing.
Great recording.
Thanks.
Okay, so we've touched upon
Love
all these.
Angeles, Astra Kelly, there's a lot in there that I'm really proud of. I'm sure I'm missing some people. I've had a really fun year, and
well, we're going to dovetail into that, which is, we talked about all these great things you've done for other people, but what are the recording projects you've got coming up? Now, I understand there's a covers album, there's a Berkeley Heart album, there's a duets album. There's a polka record. There's
as soon as I can find a tuba player to join the band, there won't be any pay. But you pay me,
well,
actually, because it's
tuba players. It's all about the love.
What's a tuba for?
Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome. No, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming out. This quarantine, when it all started, I kind of wanted to. We were all staring down the barrel of this thing.
Absolutely,
we're still kind of coming out of it. I've played a couple gigs now, but it's odd. Like an athlete, you sort of lose just that last little bit of feel, that last step that makes you a pro kind of falls away a little. So we're all kind of working to get that back. And I felt this last gig we just did, I kind of felt it again. And I welled up with tears a little bit. I also heard my buddy Nucci across the bar laughing like a walrus. He has a walrus laugh. And I cried when I heard my friend drunk laughing at the bar. I had to take a second. It's just been crazy. But this quarantine has sort of helped us all realize what's working, what isn't, when we do come back, what we want to do and how we want that to look. And I really wanted to be able to work on some more projects of my own. And so that's what I was able to do. And for about 6 years, I've been making this thing called Under the Covers, which is just a bunch of cover songs. And some friends of mine, and we did duets of cover songs. Veronica May and I did Under Pressure by, and Rebecca Jade and I sang Heroes. And Lauren Lee and I sang "Isn't It a Pity," the George Harrison song, and we even did "Private Idaho" by the B-52s. And they're just songs. There's no real rhyme or reason to them, except they're all great songs, and they're all songs that I really loved growing up. I did with Heather Marie from Podunk Nowhere. We did "Islands in the Stream," but we did sort of a minor key punk version of it. But that song was on the radio. It's one of the first songs I remember going, oh, you can write a song about something. And so we did this thing, we called it Under the Covers, and it's going to be out later in the summer. I also have a single coming out of a kind of sort of dark version of This Land Is Your Land. It comes with a video, and Woody Guthrie is a huge influence on me, but that song is sort of, with all the political upheaval of the last several years, I lean a certain direction. I'm definitely a liberal person, but on both conservative and liberal, we've all got a lot of work to do in our own camps. And "This Land Is Your Land" is such a great song because it kind of holds a mirror up to what the country is, whenever in good and bad. And so I kind of use it as a way to do that. That's coming out, and then Berkeley Heart have some new stuff coming out, and then my band that we're playing at Navajo Live the second Sunday of every month is called Jeff Berkley and the Band. And that's not a pretentious thing. It's BANNED, the band. Oh my God. Just sit with it for a second because it's genius. But
and I got to tell you that I was at that gig.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, it sounded.
We were only good because you were there. We were all, as soon as you walked in, we're like, oh my God.
Hey, the party can start now.
That's
right.
I
thought the music was really good, but what really brought it home to me was, like you said, Nucci from the English Beat and all these other bands and all the musicians that we knew were there.
Lindsay White was there.
Yeah, it was
so cool.
It was
Anna Zanova.
I think I was there.
It's Anna. I always say Anna because I want to be proper, but she's
Spike Mike from the Spice Pistols was there, and on down.
I was there too.
Oh, and Emily Bartell was there.
She was there. First
so
one
it
there.
was just a great, homecoming gig of sorts. Because for a lot of people, that was the first gig they went out to, was to see you.
I couldn't believe it. I was so honored by that. But it was the first indoor gig I did too, and it was just really felt weird for a minute, seeing the bottoms of people's faces. It's weird. It's sort of weird, but we're all figuring it out, and we're gonna make it back. I really believe
it's gonna come back stronger than before. And I really think that the people that put the time in during our time off are going to get a little bit of a reward from it, because there's so many people looking forward to real entertainment again.
Yeah.
And so I think, as you said earlier, June 14th is going to be one way, and June 15th it's just going to break loose.
It's
and
bizarre.
July 11th is the next time they play at Navajo Live.
July 11th, and we're also going to be doing a Humphreys
Yes.
show on, is that the 8th?
Uh,
Come on July 11th, and we'll
Look at
tell
the
you the
calendar.
dates for all of the rest of them. But
And you
July
can also
11th.
come down to Humphreys July 8th. If they're not there, just wait a couple of days. They'll show up. It's going to be
Just
fine.
hang around. Just
hang
ask
around
for
a couple of
Jeff, and I'll be there about 20 minutes later. Just remember, never go to a second location with a hippie. It's very important.
Wise words. All right, Jeff, what are you going to be singing for us next?
I'm going to do a brand new song. I wrote this song during quarantine, and it's just about missing being on the road. Traveling has informed my whole life, and there's a certain wisdom that comes with each mile, and that's sort of what the song is about. I'm not.
That's a lyric right there.
Yeah, well, it's sort of what that's. It's just sort of. There's a lot to learn from being out there in every facet of your life, and it's a very spiritual road for me, and so that's where the song comes from. It's called Wanderlust, and I just recorded it with my band, and we're going to be putting it out here in just a couple months. Really excited.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being on Music Scene SD TV. We appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Berkley will be up just in a moment. Hello and welcome to Music Scene SD TV's Cool Stuff Corner. Sometimes we call it Gadget Corner, sometimes it's about memorabilia, but it's always about cool things that are made by San Diego performers, musicians, etc. This time out, we're looking at Satanic Puppeteer Orchestra's wonderful collection of vinyl releases that they've put out. All highly collectible, colored vinyl. There's inserts, they're themed. This is the gold standard for record releases.
And you know what? The artwork is really, really cool too. I mean, does he do this himself?
He actually does it himself. This is put together by Michael Buckmiller, who does graphics for bands all over the world. And, this is the gold standard for releases. Highly recommended that you see the Satanic Puppeteer Orchestra. It's a duo. It's a human-robot duo. Definitely one of the most unique groups in San Diego. You definitely want to see them live. But as far as vinyl collecting goes, this stuff is, like as I said, the gold standard. It's going to be collectible in the future because it already is. Hello and welcome back to Music Scene SD TV, where we take an in-depth look at San Diego's music community. Right now, we're here with producer, singer-songwriter, artist extraordinaire, Jeff Berkley. Take it away, Jeff.
All right. I got wanderlust, my shoes are covered with dust. Ain't gonna let my motor rust, it's anywhere or bust. And I ain't used to standing still, and backing up is a bitter pill. Nobody's holding me against my will, I'm gonna see the other side of the hill. There are words between the lanes, painted lines across the plains, secrets told by wheels and gasoline. And if you listen extra close to where the rubber meets the road, ghosts will whisper wisdom to your dreams, and you will know exactly what they mean. So go ahead and turn the music up and put some fuel in your coffee cup. Take the long way just for fun. Just hit the track and let your horses run. There are words between the lanes, painted lines across the plains, secrets scrolled by wheels and gasoline. And if you listen extra close to where the rubber meets the road, ghosts will whisper wisdom to your dreams, and you will know exactly what they mean. I'm going down to the Carolines, where I can smell them piney pines, or maybe up toward old Dakota, across the land of the old Lakota. There are words between the lanes, painted lines across the plains, secrets scrolled by wheels and gasoline. And if you listen extra close to where the rubber meets the road, ghosts will whisper wisdom to your dreams. You will know exactly what they mean. You will know exactly what they mean.
Jeff Berkley live on MusicSceneSD TV. Fantastic, Jeff. Thank you so much. Cheers.